ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि Om. As that is, yesterday we were discussing about superimposition, and today we were all supposed to tell how, if at all, we have faced superimposition. So I saw some poems have been posted. Now, then immediately I understood that you have probably confused two things. Though it is we are talking about superimposition, so superimposing is only but natural. So confusing one with the other. So you see,
But
imagination. Yeah.
Maharaj, I have separate examples as well, so that was only
Okay,
for.
the poems, they are imagination or metaphor or simile. Now these are not superimposition. Imagination is also superimposition is imagination, but all imagination is not superimposition. Can anyone tell why?
Because the knowledge has to be like consistent with what we have seen in the past. Like it should be true knowledge. Like flower in the sky is not like a valid example.
Hmm. So if you say, like in one of the poems, if you say that the moon is a roti, and that, of course, the person who is saying also knows that no, moon is never going to be chapati or paratha or whatever. So that means that is an imagination. But what I'm saying is all superimposition is imagination, but all imagination is not superimposition. Why? Why?
Because like in imagination one thing is unreal, like you are imagining it, but in superimposition both the things which you are perceiving are true.
Now, please understand the question. All superimposition is imagination, but all imagination is not superimposition. I am not, in fact, differentiating between
Maharaj,
superimposition and imagination. I am saying that all superimposition is indeed imagination, but all imagination is not superimposition. Why?
because Maharaj, in case of imagination, it is not necessary that you will always have two objects. It may not be so. You can imagine something where there may not be two objects. You
For
can imagine
example,
something with one object also.
how can is possible? For example, give me an example.
Imagination, I am just having wings and I am flying in the sky. So that is also an imagination, Maharaj. Just like a bird, I am flying. Is it not an imagination?
Hmm. So you are saying that you are not mistaking one for the other, but there is. What if in the case of mistaking one for the other, or you say you look at the moon and you say that you look like a chapati. That was basically the poem. So how then why do I say that all superimposition is imagination, but all imagination is not superimposition? Why? Hmm?
In case
Discrimination,
of imagination,
viveka or discrimination or
cognition may
discernment.
not be there.
Huh?
Huh. No, Maharaj, in case of imagination, cognition may not be there. But in case of superimposition, I think cognition factor is very important.
What do you mean by cognition?
Cognition means I see something. I see something.
You mean to say imagination can be done even when a person is not experiencing something, just like that somebody had some free time, and just like that, and the person started imagining. Okay.
Imagination can be invalid cognition also, as you have said that I have seen a flower in the sky, so that may be my imagination, that when I'm sitting I see a flower in the sky, but then there is no valid
I
cognition.
am not asking you to tell the differences between imagination and superimposition. What am I
I
saying? I
understood
am
your point.
saying no. I am saying that all superimposition are imagination, but all imagination is not superimposition. Then why is it so? Of course, you have given two reasons. One is that imagination may not be a valid cognition, and in imagination there may not be a cognition to start with. But then, how does all superimposition become imagination, but all imagination does not become superimposition? What are the qualities or what are the characteristics of
Ma-
superimposition?
Maharaj, in case of superimposition, the question of imagination is coming because actually you are imposing something on something. Two different things look similar to you, but their attributes are totally different. And in the process of superimposition, neither I can pass on the attribute of the adhisthana to adhastha or adhastha to adhisthana. So that is why in case of superposition, this imagination factor will be there. It will be there because without that, how can you superimpose? If without
But
imagination
then
I
why
am
is not?
superimposing
But
something on something,
why is all imagination not superimposition?
as I have said, there may not be two things I am mingling with. In case of superimposition, two things, I am putting one thing on the other. But in case of imagination, that may be absent. It may be my imagination may hover around only one thing. That is the difference.
Hmm.
That's what I feel, Maharaj. I may be wrong.
What are the characteristics of superimposition according to Shankaracharya? What are the characteristics of adhyasa according to Shankaracharya?
Smriti,
Huh?
Smriti,
Tirupa. Huh.
Smriti, memory. Okay, then
Smriti, yes,
uh,
memory.
then
Then
Under-
this, then locus and sub, substratum. The three things should be there. Has to be there.
okay. So other three, this is another three you are telling. There is another three other three qualities of
Yes,
adhyasa
actually,
which he gives. What
I
is
am not
that?
able. I have
Which we
not.
were
I have,
discussing yesterday. Which we
yes.
were discussing yesterday. What are those three? Hmm?
Other three with associated with super imposition. Actually, Maharaj, what Shankaracharya is telling that in case of superimposition is happening because superimposition because of superimposition, all the transactions in the
Why does
empirical or the Vedas
superimposition take
is there.
place? What are the three causes of superimposition
Yes.
according to Shankaracharya?
Ignorance,
One is strictly
ignorance, lack of
ignorance,
discrimination,
basically.
and truth and
Huh.
falsity existing together.
No.
Yeah.
Coupling of truth and falsity,
Huh.
ignorance,
Yes.
and then lack of
Non-discrimination,
discrimination.
lack of discrimination.
And okay, so now
Lack of distinction.
tell me why all superimposition is imagination, but all imagination is not superimposition. Why? You see, you should have simple minds. Minds which is like jalebi cannot understand spiritual truths. Hmm. Mind should be arjavam, riju. Riju means straight. It should be straight. If you are thinking like complex, it is not calculus. Hmm. So simple. A person who says, looks at the moon and says it looks like chapati, knows that the moon is not chapati. That person knows very well that this moon is not chapati. So there is no lack of discrimination. There is no process of mistaking one thing for the other. There is no mistaking because that person is well aware. So all imagination is not superimposition. Because the person is aware. Because the person is aware. Once you are aware, then there is no
Yes.
superimposition. So now, who will start? Shrubaji, tell what have you seen superimposition? Where have you seen? Have you seen? You're supposed to tell it today. Yesterday it was the thing told.
Well, when I was thinking about it, I don't know whether, well, of course, one example that we can straight away say is, as I have seen in Kumari Puja. Will that be considered as superimposition?
It is up to you. Where you experiencing
Yes. Why
superimposition? How
not?
would I know? Uh, Kumari Puja, superimposition. How?
Yes.
No.
No.
No,
No.
how? How?
Ignorance
I
is
know
not there.
you have
You are
experienced
doing it
superimposition.
consciously.
No, you have experienced
Oh, okay. It's
superimposition.
my experience.
Ah,
My experience.
you see, you are confusing things. We see an idol of a god and we do what is called prana pratishtha. We infuse prana or life into the statue image and say that from now on this person has become a living goddess. This image has become living goddess. That is not superimposition. That is, you cannot call that superimposition because again you are aware. Aha.
Hmm.
The problem is that there you are not aware. You are not aware. You are in ignorance. The moment you are aware, it is no more superimposition. So even the experience of superimposition, when you would have had that experience, you would not have known that it is superimposition. Maybe now, say 10 years, 15 years after, you might be in retrospect able to say that it was superimposition. But when you were in that position, had you been able to tell that it's superimposition, then it's not a superimposition. How many people can say that it is a dream while they are dreaming? Hmm?
No one.
No.
Not no one.
Very
Some
rarely.
people
No
can
one.
say,
No
but
one. Very rare, Maharaj. Very rare.
rare. You have not come across. But anyway, so but you are not able to say. So when you are dreaming, if you know that it is dream, then it is no more a dream. Is it a dream?
No.
Hmm. So that is what. So superimposition, it's not symbology. Symbolism is different. Statue is a symbol. You represent God through the statue, or you use statue or idol or image to worship God. That is not superimposition. So imagination is not superimposition always. Statue is not superimposition. So Kumari Puja also will not be superimposition. Because you are aware that Kumari is not mother goddess.
Goddess.
You are trying to see goddess through that form. But that is not superimposition. That is symbolism. So mostly by knowing what a thing is not, you have a better understanding of what a thing is. Huh? So by knowing what superimposition is not, you have a better understanding of what superimposition. So I guess. But now you see the problem is being within a ocean. Say you are in the middle of a ocean. How can you know the extent of ocean? Can you know? Oh, why ocean? Say lake. Lake. You are in the middle of a lake, which is a huge lake. But how can you know the extent of lake if you are in the middle of lake? You cannot. You cannot know the extent. You have to come out of the lake. So, being in the superimposed world, how can you define superimposition? You cannot. Because first thing which you need is dispassion. Do you have dispassion? So Vairagya is needed. Do you have Vairagya? Okay, little of this, little of that, little of that, little of everything, and my life is happy and it is wonderful. That is not Vairagya. Vairagya is when you cannot bear the thought of anything other than God. That is Vairagya. So, do you have that kind of a situation? That is why it is becoming difficult for you to understand what superimposition is. A person who is always thinking of God, a person who wants to get out of this superimposition, will only wonder how people cannot understand what superimposition is. You see, it's so simple. It's like mathematics. A person who has understood the problem says, don't you understand? It's so simple. People don't teach mathematics also properly. So if you go and ask someone, why do you do differential calculus? I think only one person, two people are here from mathematics background. You are not. Maitreji and Shubhaji don't know mathematics. So, see, differential calculus, why, what is the logic behind differential calculus? Very few people can properly teach. So, that is one reason. Why? Because unless you have yourself understood the problem, how can you make others understand? And when you have understood, it becomes so simple. You say, don't you see, this is very simple. So, superimposition is very simple. So, what is the example? Serenji? What happened?
You want to give?
May I give you one, Maharaj?
Yeah, definitely.
That at night in the village, in the moonlight day, that moonlight, completely moonlight day, suppose moonlight is falling on a banana plant and it is moving, somebody thinks, maybe may think it as a ghost. So that's a superimposition, that they think as if it's that's ignorance. They
So
think that it
this
is.
is an example given in Vedanta text that a person is seeing a tree and mistaking it to be a person, a human being. So if in some places there is a tree, a tall tree has been cut, and so people think need not be moonlight. Even if there is less light, they think, oh, there is somebody standing in the dark, etc. Yes, that's a correct example of superimposition. But what I was looking for was something which happened in your life, which was like some experience, some kind of. Uh, so, Sirinji?
Yes. So when earthquake happens, we don't understand whether it's an earthquake or we are having a dizziness. So
That is not superimposition.
it's not okay.
No, that is not superimposition. So when fever happens, you don't understand why fever is coming, whether it is because of your stomach or because of your lung or because of your heart. That is not superimposition.
No. I mean, so
You see here,
basically,
what
if
is
you're
happening in the cause of a particular event is unknown. What is happening when earthquake is happening, you don't know whether it is because of earthquake or giddiness. So the cause of the event of tremor is not known. That is what is happening there basically. That's not superimposition. Cause is not known, can be anything. It's not superimposition. So, but you're sure that there is tremor. Superimposition would be when you're not sure about the thing itself. You see,
okay.
superimposition is when you have got one thing confused with the other. So here you are not confusing the tremor with the other.
I have another example. So, suppose a small baby is sleeping, we might confuse that with a doll. So,
Acha, I just hear a little bit of language. Why do you say small baby? I mean, can there be a big baby also?
yes, yes, until 10 years,
Babies
everybody
are
is
all
baby.
small.
10 years is still
Baby,
baby.
baby means small. Baby cannot be. This is small. This is like 5 years
Small
old baby.
size,
That's
small
Indian English
size
anyway.
baby.
No, the Indian English. What? Small size baby. So from 3 kilos to 5 kilos, it is small. Then below 3 kilos, it is miniature. It's Indian English anyway. So a small baby. Because in Indian English, we are like that only. So what were you saying? What is your next example?
Yeah, so confusing a small baby with a doll. So, baby who's sleeping, you think it's a doll lying there, but then you find that okay, it moves its hand, so then you find oh, it's a baby.
Does it actually happen?
Yes, yes.
Oh, like you mistook your own child, huh?
Yeah, or somebody else's child. Like suppose somebody is carrying, like suppose in an auto, in a two-wheeler, somebody is holding something like this. You feel they're holding a bag, and suddenly you see the hand moving. Then you understand, oh, it's not a bag, it's a child.
Oh, superimposition.
Yes.
This is because you can't see it properly. I mean, maybe because, yeah, this has happened, but it's only because you can't see it properly. So that's why you think they wrap it in blankets and all these things, so you can't see the baby. But is it? Why should it be
So
superimposition?
properly not seeing also could be one reason of. So you
Yeah.
see, yeah, this is another very valid point and a very important point. A person who cannot see, a person who cannot see. So long ago it happened with me. I was walking with a person and the person suddenly said, "Can you see there was one cow earlier. Now why have they become two cows?" So I said, "But no, there are no two cows. There are one cow. There is only one cow." So that person had suddenly got high blood sugar, low blood sugar. So the person was seeing everything as double double. And then how did we understand that person was cycling and coming towards us, and he was seeing that person also as two people cycling. So he said, "No, this is my problem because exactly similar two people cannot cycle the same type of cycle and all." So defect in sense organs cannot be superimposition. That's not superimposition. In fact, these points have been discussed in various commentaries. Defect in sense organs cannot be. So defect in not properly able to see, not properly being able to see something, that is also a defective perception. That cannot be superimposition. So just imagine if the child was properly seen, would you have superimposed the child with a doll? That's why I asked this question. Does it really happen? Because doll, the skin texture and all that is quite different. Okay, even with the amazing technology we have, doll cannot resemble a child. Means it's not possible. So yeah, so that means you are seeing it not properly. You are seeing it covered and only bits and pieces. So that also will not qualify for superimposition.
I have one last example. So, a chameleon is sitting on a tree trunk. So, you first think it to be a trunk, and then you find out that it's a chameleon.
And this is also a very common example. In fact, Sri Ramakrishna uses it, and many other people use it, and also this is a common example. So yes, that is superimposition, mistaking one thing for another because of that particular thing itself, actually. Mm. So yeah, see why I will tell you why do we have so much problem in even understanding superimposition? Because we are not thinking that we are suffering. In fact, many people have the problem with me, not with me, in general with philosophy. And I encounter this problem quite often. People are little kind of annoyed when I say that we are suffering. People don't understand that. They say, what is it? He's saying we are suffering. We are not suffering. We are happy. We are happy. God has provided for us everything and we are happy. So that is not the talk of a person who is a mumukshu. That is not the talk of a person who is wanting, seeking liberation. A person who says, I am happy, God has provided for me, and by God's grace I am happy, that person is a ignorant fool. So you see, that is the problem. That is the problem. Moksha Shastra is not for everybody. A Moksha Shastra is not for everybody. That means a scripture which leads you to liberation by dispelling your ignorance. Knowledge is already there. That is not for everybody because it is very difficult to understand. Why? Because of your previous samskaras, previous tendencies. So a person, when you become ill, then you know the true colors of your mind. When you become ill, suddenly you are only thinking of your body. You can no longer think about anything higher. You're only thinking about your body. What will happen to me? What will happen to me? What will happen to me? When a person is with the deathbed, then the person thinks only of, oh, don't worry, I will come again. Or, okay, you please see the household, everything. That person is unable to think of anything other than the body, mind, intellect, etc. So that bondage is what comes between us and the understanding that we are actually suffering. How are we suffering? If you think that question, how are we suffering, then you will be automatically led to the answer that we are suffering because of superimposition. The problem is that we are suffering. Why are we suffering? That we are suffering because we have taken birth. And because of having taken birth, we have to undergo so many experiences which create problems to our body, mind and intellect. And so we suffer. If a person says, no, bhalo hi to achi. I am अच्छे ही तो हैं. It's I am happy. What are you saying, Maharaj? What Swamiji you are saying suffering? We don't suffer. I have in good employment. And you see, in worldly life, there will be some ups and downs. This is part of the game, part of the parcel. So this you have to accept. So this is a ignorant, foolish talk. To understand that there is suffering also requires lot of spiritual evolution. So when I ask you the question, can you give me one example of experiencing superimposition? Pat should be the answer, that we are always seeing superimposition. We are seeing this world which is not this world. We are seeing this world to be permanent, which is not permanent. We are seeing different people. They are not different. There is one undifferentiated consciousness. But even with one day and so much of thinking, you came up with answers, but not one was somewhere directly taken from Vedantic scriptures. You might not have consciously taken them, but they were there and like that. But you forgot that you yourself are part of superimposition. So you see, that requires courage. To accept the problem requires courage. So superimposition is so deep that you cannot understand that you yourself are, you consider yourself body and mind. You consider yourself body, mind and intellect. Is that not superimposition? You consider a child and think that it is my child and you have all affection for that child. And you read about some child being kidnapped in news. and may feel bad. Oh, poor child was kidnapped. But nowhere near the affection you have for your own child. Is that not superimposition? All this is superimposition. So there is one story. There was a merchant, okay, and he had he was not a merchant actually. He was a very poor person, and then he was living, and he had one child, one son, and he had a daughter. And then suddenly he found that somebody called him to assist in his business, do some errands and all that. So he went with that person. Then finally that person passed away, so that whole business he took over, and he became a big businessman. But he was outside. He did not come to his house. And then he became very rich, extremely wealthy, and he had so many servants and so many people to attend to him, etc., etc., etc. And then once he was touring, he came to his own uh, village. And in that village, instead of going to his house, near the village in a town, he came, and before going to his house, he was staying in a shelter. And coming to know that that person has come to the town, wife, she sent her son that we are all suffering so much, so you please go and meet your father. And he went, and when he went, that father had not come. So he went there and he was loitering around, and that the person who was there in the shelter, the dharmashala, he did not give resting place. He did not give any place to that fellow. Then he saw that he is loitering. Okay, you stay in that corner. Like that, some one corner he showed. So the boy slept the night in that corner. The next day, his father came. When his father came, that person, the owner of the place, he opened the door, and he saw that it's a very wealthy merchant. So he opened the door and he drove away that boy. And the father, he came, and so many people had come to see him, but he did not know that there was this son. And then he went and he started taking rest, but the son was thrown out. So that night son slept under a tree, and because of cold, the next day morning he died. So next day everyone went and saw near the tree that a boy is dead there, and everyone said, oh, this is that fellow's son who has gone away. But nobody could understand that that is the person who has come back. Okay, and then this person also went to see what happened, the father. And the moment he saw, he understood that it is his son. He said, oh, he is my son, and he also passed away. So till the moment he understood that it was his son, he knew that there is some commotion going on, somebody has died. But the moment he got the knowledge that it is my son, immediately it came as a big shock, and he passed away. He simply fell dead there on the spot. So the idea is that is superimposition. That is superimposition. You see, boy passed away, but the moment it is your boy, it becomes all the problem. So if it is connected to you, ahankara, mamakara, then it is problem. That is superimposition. But are we conscious of that? We are not. Else why would we struggle to find examples of superimposition? We are not even aware. Now if we say, Maharaj is saying he's a sadhu, he's a monk, so he's saying, we don't find any superimposition, it's all so nice, and it's all because of the grace of Sri Ramakrishna, it is going on and all that. Grace of Sri Ramakrishna is there. It is there. You see, when a person who is a professor, well versed in mathematics, PhD, comes and teaches you, that person can teach undergraduate, can teach graduate students or doctoral students. It depends on you to learn. That person is not saying, oh, don't learn any further, stop here, don't go more than BSc mathematics, stop there. that person is not saying. So Sri Ramakrishna also, or God's grace is flowing, but are we qualified to receive it? That's the question. So 3 reasons for superimposition. One is mistaking one for another. Another one is avidya, ignorance. And third one is because of aviveka. And then this mithuni kritya, satya anritam, mithuni kritya. You are confusing truth and falsity. And aviveka, non-discrimination. So first we have to bring discrimination. First we have to bring discrimination. First we have to constantly analyze. Am I this body? Am I this mind? Am I this intellect? No, I am not. So how can you analyze that unless you have some dispassion? So if you are in the world and then you want to like enjoy more and more of the world, then you cannot analyze. So you cannot hold on to something and then say, please leave me, please leave me. You have to give it, let it go. So that is the whole idea. So what is superimposition? I don't know. It's like if I had asked, what is human body? I don't, human body. What is human body? You all have human bodies. You all are, we are all, because of ignorance, mistaking ourselves with a human body.
Maharaj, I would just like to ask you one question. For in case of superimposition, they are telling that it is vice versa. Real is on unreal, unreal is on real. We have got all the examples when actually the unreal is superimposed on the real. But what would be the situation when it is vice versa? I mean,
that's what you are already doing, all the time you are doing. You are all the time using the body and you are thinking that this body is conscious, but is the body conscious?
No.
That is the superimposition.
No, but
you see,
I am talking of the reverse situation.
No, reverse only. You are superimposing the unreal with the real. You are superimposing the unconscious body with consciousness. Did you not get it? Just like you superimpose Brahman with this world, you are superimposing this body with consciousness. Body is not conscious, but you say that body walks, body moves, body. How can body do that? Did you get it? So that is the other way.
Yeah, I have another question. So once there was an earthquake and Vivekananda could not sleep the whole night. So it's not that he's attached to his like Mamakara, but he can feel for others, right? So like how do you say that? Like I would think that okay, you can say that one way is saying that you're not the body, and I think a more broader way would be I am everyone's body. So I feel as much as
sorry for my language. This is again a foolish talk. Okay, are you Vivekananda?
Oh, no. No, but what I'm saying is we
can Vivekananda, before he had that experience, he was begging for Nirvikal Samadhi, which he got. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is a thoughtless state where there is no mind, no buddhi, nothing. So he got that, and afterwards he found that experience and all that. So we are not even, means we should not even think about these things. And Swami Vivekananda was not an ordinary person, and why are we bothering our heads with that? You see, so have you got Nirvikalpa Samadhi? If you get Nirvikalpa Samadhi, then that may be relevant. Now you may say, Sri Ramakrishna says that some people kept the ego for teaching the world, like Shankaracharya taught the world. So Shankaracharya taught the world. Now if somebody says, oh, I don't want to give up the ego, I want to keep the ego for teaching the world, it will be stupid, nonsense. Okay, many people say that, oh, I don't want to get moksha in this birth itself. I want to come again. I will do Sri Ramakrishna's work. Did Sri Ramakrishna come and tell you that you come and do my work? That is absolute nonsense. Only a person who has the ability to go beyond this ignorance can tell that. Many people quote Swami Ranganathanandaji. It seems Ranganathanandaji, not it seems, he said that I will come 1,000 times, I will come again and again to do this work and all that. So that Ranganathanandaji can say. We know from many incidents that he got samadhi and he got the highest realization. So he can say that. Who are we to talk that? It is like the grapes are sour. In Hindi we say, naach na jane angan teda. You cannot dance, so you say that the floor is all crooked. It's a stupid logic. First get that position which is beyond suffering. First achieve that. And then if you feel that I should come back to this world to save the suffering and all, then it is okay. But have you achieved that? No. So you see, ignorance is so powerful, and mind is so powerful. We are talking about killing the mind. You see, when you get this knowledge, mind will cease to exist. You will become mindless. So mind does not want to lose itself. So that is why it will say, no, what is this? This is all. So let us follow bhakti. Bhakti is better. Bhakti, we will just pray. Actually, bhakti is also not like that. Bhakti also, you have to lose your mind, your ego, everything. True bhakti. Understood? So dispassion is what is necessary. Discrimination is what is necessary. And that is why I just gave you this exercise of finding out where superimposition is. Instead of taking so much time, then itself you could have told that everywhere superimposition is. That is what Shankaracharya says, Naisargiko Loka Vyavahara hai. In all our transactions, superimposition is there. But still, you have read that already. You have already read that. But still you are thinking, where is superimposed? That shows the ignorance. Extent of ignorance we are in. That shows the ignorance. We are so much in ignorance. Because somehow we cannot accept that I am involved in superimposition. I am ignorant. It hurts our ego to accept that I am ignorant. How is it possible? I have studied so much. How can I be ignorant? Okay. So any other question? So now with this idea, with this spirit, if you again go and read, study whatever we have studied till now, then you will understand how much entrenched in ignorance we are. How much in deep ignorance we are. Okay. And every time, waking, dreaming, sleeping, you should be conscious that I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this body, I am not this mind, like that. So even if somebody is going to come and say that I will chop your head, yes, I am not this body, I am not this mind. Be my guest, chop my head. Okay. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.